Good morning, all. How are we on this lovely public holiday Monday for Queenslanders? Do apologise that I didn't get this out earlier. Don't apologise, but I do apologise. Been enjoying a weekend away. So, um, COTA, I haven't got a lot of positive things to say about this track. Not a fan of it at all. So look, this lap is a solid lap. It's not an amazing lap from a lap time point of view. A little bit disconnected between what's a good time and what's not at the moment. I think I saw J. Ross do a 36.9 last night in an official server with the official setup on the correct track. This is a 37.7, but it lays the foundation for the basis of a good lap. Definitely room to improve in it. But yeah, definitely just wanted to get a good, solid, clean banker lap in. So you can go and have a look at it and see, I guess, the right and the wrong way to try and get around the place. Look, track limits. It is the NASCAR version, so they don't exist. But there are a couple of spots where you can pick up slowdowns, off tracks, and things like that. So you just got to be a little bit mindful of that. But overall, look, it's not an awful track. I don't know how it's going to race. It'll be interesting. But this track has never been. It and I have never really blended. But yeah, set up this week. A little tricky to drive, but I think it's a trait of the track, not so much a trait of the setup. But it's very loose in the rear on throttle mid to exit. And a little bit understeery, which is probably why it's got that little bit of slide on the exit. But again, it's a good solid dock. It's just a little bit tricky to drive, and I think as the tyre wears, it's going to get even more tricky. So, but again, it is a real trait of the track. So, anyway, let's play this through, and we'll do a little review. All right. The 37.7. As I said, fairly calm, tidy lap. A couple little mistakes in it. Sorry about the start of that video. It was a bit clunky with what we were doing there, but anyway, all good. So you can see there's a few spots where you can use a lot of track. There's a couple of spots where I choose not to. Some people are using out over the ripple stripping in the red in a couple of braking zones. I'm not a fan of that, and I'll get to that why, but it is probably a little quicker at times. So anyway, up into turn one. So bang, using this line here. I think it's the second line. as a brake reference. Now, a couple of ways you can attack this. Obviously, the more you keep the car straight here, the further up you can brake. Okay, because the hill is huge. So depending on how you want to angle in or brake quite straight, if you brake quite straight, you're obviously leaving a lot of track distance. So really depends on how you want to attack it. But given it's such a strong uphill, you can certainly brake deeper here if you're going to keep the car straighter longer. So it's just food for thought. If you're going to angle the car in quite early, you don't have as much banking to slow you up. So just food for thought. But obviously big brake application. Give it all the herbs. And then, yeah, as you get to the top, you don't want to be big brake as you're cresting here, obviously. You want to be filtering out. You can see I carry it a fair way up the hill. I get to basically the last white line here and start pitching the car in. You can see I'm just slowly, and it's more the track angle. Sorry, I'm on this side now, not that side. So I keep looking that way, but um, uh, does camber just a little bit. So as you're braking, you're not really turning the car. You're not turning the steering wheel, but the car just naturally. You can see the steering wheel's dead straight, but the car's naturally going left. So don't need to worry about turning it too much early because it'll rotate. But once I get to that last, just past the white line, is where I kind of start to want to pitch the car in. And just see a little bit of a lift in brake there over the little bit of crest of hill, and then in around the corner. So a little bit wide here, just a smidge wide. You see I had a lot of lock in the car. Probably just want to catch that curb a little bit more. So probably just turned in just a little bit late. That's okay. Third gear for me here. Again, I'm just trying to control the rear end. I'd love to, I'd love to be in second gear here, but it just doesn't accept it very well coming out. Now I haven't used all of this. I don't believe there's a need to, but give it a whirl. Never know. But get the car squared up as quick as you can. You can see back to full throttle. We're going to put a yawn counter, FYI, somewhere on here. Back to a lot of throttle. Being in third gear, you can pick up a lot. And as soon as the car's kind of settled, you want to be bang straight back into the loud pedal. Down the hill, into sort of out to the white line. Again, my thing is, so some people might use a bit of this. I don't like how the car's reacting when the left side comes back over the curb. And that's the same everywhere, left or right, doesn't matter. I feel like it's disconnecting the front. So I'm not using these areas everywhere. However, on the apex stuff, so out to the white line here. And then as you tip the car in here, I'm really focusing on getting as much, see instantly the car, bang, wants to rotate. Watch the front of it as it comes off over the curb. Bang, grip. So plenty of grip here, and you want to get the car right up and over this curb. Now there is an off track if you push it too much further than that, but that's completely fine. And you can see a little sneaky short shift to fifth there. So, and again, that's just so I can maintain throttle and get back on the throttle fairly hard early here. Kind of load out mid-track, mid to three-quarter, with a focus on getting the car to full throttle and getting back as far back over to the right as you can here. So shoot the car back, but where you land is where you land. Yeah, ideally you want to be as open as you can here. And it's kind of funny, this corner here doesn't have a big impact on the next bit. It's actually the third one that this entry has an impact on. So if you're a little bit narrow like I am here, okay, so I would have preferred to be a little bit more open and sort of attacking it this way instead of kind of that way at the moment. So you can just see the car is kind of going there, whereas I would have preferred it just a little bit more of an angle. The only way to achieve that is to get a little bit more over here. So it could be a case of sacrificing a bit of exit speed here to get the car a little bit more over to the right. as you come in. So you can see here, this is where it kind of gets a bit tight. So I do grab some brake here, just to get the weight on the nose for this change of direction. Down a gear, so you can see it again. So because I was a bit wide at there, I'm a bit wide here. So I'm pushing, haven't lost any speed at this point, by the way. Still up on my delta, it looks good. But the car again is pointing that way. Okay. So you really got to open these up, and it's not about driving in here at 1,000,000 miles an hour. You've really got to find a rhythm and a flow. My fastest lap in here is 37.7. It's not my quickest lap, but my quickest lap, which I didn't save, um, I barely touched the brake through this section. So yeah, if you can get a nice flow, it'll work much better. But again, because we're wrong angle here, puts us at the wrong angle here. Okay, I just want to be coming off here just a little bit nicer. But it's okay. You can just see, and then we're in sort of no man's land for here, and I have to grab the brake again to get the car rotated back. But it's not too bad. So, but again, you can use a lot of exit. I think, don't know what the rules are. What are the rules? Keep 2 tyres on the red-white curbing to avoid a slowdown or off track. So as you can see, I'm fine there and there. That's good. Did not use anywhere near enough there, so I could have used a whole car width, basically, almost 3/4 of a car width over here, which is where I should have been, yeah? But anyway, I've explained that enough, but that's kind of the reality. Gear was good. Down to 3rd gear, sorry, my apologies. So I'm using the gearbox to slow the car up. Okay, so 5th to 4th in the first bit, 4th to 3rd in the second bit. Helps get a bit of rotation in the car. And then get as aggressive as you can over here. So definitely you can see, bang, there's that rotation in the front of the car again. Plenty of throttle, a little bit of brake there. I don't know why I did that, but anyway. That's why, because I shot out a bit wide. Ideally, I want it to be, if you can rail here the whole way around, a little bit quicker on this entry here for this bad boy. So that's why I grabbed the brake, because I was trying to get it back to the right a bit. But again, you can just see how half a car length at the start of all that has a pretty big effect. It's about 1/10.5 to 2/10 just through this section by not getting that first bit right. So, yep, that's what it is. But again, like I said, just in here, you just want to rail the car a bit harder and maintain it inside, right side tyres inside of that curb where you can. And then as you pop off here, so you can see now I'm fighting the car back to the right. As you pop off here, yeah, you've got a much squarer run in, whereas here you can see I'm actually facing this way a bit to come back. So nice and square here off the curb. Now, you've really got to maximize the apex here. I left a bit on the table, and you can see I was able to get back a little bit of a uncertain moment there on the throttle. But I was able to get back to the throttle pretty well. I think I might just touch the wall. Yeah, just clip it. So, but yeah, definitely here, you don't want to apex it early. Okay. So that's why I'm saying use this bit here. And you turn in around that shadow. And probably use a little bit more trail. So you can see there I go on the brake and off the brake, even though there's still a percentage of brake there, the brake lights were off. And then I grab it again, just with a really low percentage trail. But if I had have just maintained that trail all the way through there, it just would have sat a little bit nicer on the off. So there's not much in it, but that angle a little bit tighter just enables more throttle in this section. So you want to clip the mirrors. So it was pretty good there. Like I said, just a little bit of an uncertain moment, a little bit of a wall touch. Now here's cool. This is actually a really cool corner. You can use a lot of track here, again, you want to be dragging your mirror on the inside wall here. Now, I go to fourth gear, again, just trying to control the slide. So fourth on transition, I just have a bit of a lift, no brake, and you just want to be that, okay? If you're like half a car, um, uh, it's like a tenth for me anyway, because it just takes you so much longer to get back to the throttle because the car's just constantly turning. So definitely tip the car in earlier than you think here. And if you tip the car in a bit earlier, then you can pick up throttle a little bit earlier, and out you go. Float the car out all the way out. Okay. And again, fourth gear for me just helps that consistent amount of throttle. Third gear, I just feel like it's trying to light the rears up, which, yeah, not ideal. Four? We'll go four. Into here. So a lot of people are braking on this line. It works, and it certainly helps you open this corner up a little bit. But again, like I said, for me, I feel like as the tire wears, it will become a problem. But getting back over this curb with the right side tires in this case, I feel like the car just doesn't ride the curb very well, and then gets a little bit of understeer in it. So for me, I'm going traditional, and I also feel like I can brake if you're braking on that curb. So if you're braking, sorry, so if you're braking like that on the curb, it's serrated. You just don't have your peak brake performance. I don't know what it'll do from a tyre temp point of view. I'd imagine it would heat that front left tyre up a fair bit. So for me, I'm braking on the track surface, and I feel like I can brake deeper here. As I said, the only downside is that you might use that for qualifying. I don't know. But the only downside is that this line just narrows this up a little bit. This line opens it up, so you get a slightly better exit. But from a race point of view, this isn't a qualifying lap, as I always say. This is a smooth race lap. Then I don't know. I don't know what it'll do to that front tire. Be interested to look at tire temps if you were to do 3 laps using that, and then 3 laps not using that. See what the tire temp does. And obviously the front left does a lot of work in this next half of the lap. So, yeah. Again, hard on the brakes. I use third. I think you could use second here pretty comfortably. But again, I'm just trying to control the tyre. So, nice late apex. Get the car in. I've just missed it again. Just want to grab curb. Just grab curb. So much better. You can see I came out of the trail quite quickly here. Just needed to maintain that arc a little bit better. But yeah, definitely get it in on over the curb if you can. Square the car up hard on the throttle as early as you can, because again, you're in third gear, so you can do that. Get the car back out to the left towards the curb. Again, don't brake on or over, just onto the edge of it. And it's pretty much, I can't remember, I don't think you do. No, you don't. You almost get to the limiter there, but basically using this white line as a brake marker. It's always a bit hard to use a brake marker on the left when you're looking right, but that's the marker. And again, it's actually a pretty decent stop here. And you want to carry the trail all the way in and get the car in nice and tight. And you can see still trail, still trail, still trail, and then a bit of throttle overlap. But don't use all the track, in my opinion, especially in this section. So run the car fairly narrow. You don't gain, but by running the car wide here and squaring up and getting a mega exit out of here doesn't really benefit you. You actually gain a little bit more by running a bit narrow, same as the next bit. So if you can run the car narrow, tack in on the curb, and it's just about throttle balance. I'm not a tired person, believe it or not. I just fucking yawn. Big brain, not enough oxygen. Anyway, yeah, throttle balance, controlling the rear here is critical. Get back to full, and you run it down here. You're basically just catching the limiter as a brake marker if you get a good run out of there. Otherwise, it's really by feel for a brake marker. But again, this is a corner that you can get suckered into running really wide here to cut back hard into this next corner. Gen 3, I don't know, just got no front aero, no grip. So running that wide line for me just, I think, will heat the tyre and it's slow. But who knows? So sort of mid to 3/4 track. Okay, you can see there's a lot left on the outside. It's all grey out here. You don't want to be in that. You want to be where the darker surface is, obviously. And again, I'm sort of modulating here. You're constantly turning left, yeah. So you got to look after the brake pedal a bit here to avoid any locks. In nice again on the curb. Probably could get a little bit more, but that's not too bad. Third gear, and you want to be getting on that throttle as soon as you can. Now, this is a spot where you grab the throttle too aggressive too early, it's just going to light the rear tyre up. So you don't want to be doing that. You definitely want to be making sure that you get on the throttle nice and progressive, and once the car's settled, bang, away you go. This next bit, and this is a front left cops an absolute flogging, yeah. So if you're going to superheat the tyre by using a lot of curb, possibly heat, it's going to pay for it here, that's for sure. So there's probably 15 different ways of getting through here. I don't really know what the right or the wrong way is. I can tell you what the wrong way is actually, but all I will say is that I'm pitching the car in quite early. I don't run the car wider here, so I'm in early, and it's really a throttle balance corner for me. So I'm using a little bit of curb on the first bit, and then this is the boom, so up and over the curb in here, just to help that rotation again, and really, you know, the more you're running out wide, the more track you're adding, the slower it's going to be. So nice and narrow there, and then you sort of start picking up the throttle and driving the car on the rear. So you get that slip angle in the car. You can see, we're turning left, going right a little bit. So, and again, get the car back over that first bit of the curve. It'll just help the car rotate in a little bit. So it's a tricky corner. And again, this is where I feel like the track versus the setup is very loose in the rear through here. But it is a trait of the track. So that's not shooting the setup by any stretch of the imagination. It is very very, very easy to lose the rear here. So definitely want to be nice and calm and balanced with the throttle. You see, still not the full throttle, still not the full throttle. Finally get there. I go to fifth for a little bit. Some people will just carry the limiter, whatever works for you. Again, talked about it in previous videos, but I prefer to go up and down as opposed to just hold it. It gives me a rhythm. But yeah, and you're braking very early here. Now, I don't know if there's significant time in this next bit by using a shite ton of track exit. I'm not sure. I haven't really tried. But out to the white line curb, um, still fourth gear. So I pitch the car in. You use a lot here. Same rule applies that keep the tyre on the sausage. Now, obviously, there's no off-track or slowdown out here. So I use a little bit. And my advice here is, I guess, use a lot or use none. I, I don't know. I haven't perfected it. I don't know the right or the wrong way. I was watching a couple of people last night in the official server. Some were using a lot, but their lap times weren't that great. Some were using a little bit. I don't know. But one thing I will say is this double curb here. Whatever you do, you want to get left side and right side tyre clear of the bevel, okay? Because if you're, so you can see I'm full throttle, but I'm letting the car flow out, okay? If you're trying to run the car quite narrow here and you get your right side tyres on the edge of that peak, the car will just have a mega slide. So yeah, definitely want to get the car either well inside, which is not going to be as quick as it should be, or do what I've done here and sort of, as you're back to full throttle, so, getting up towards full throttle, yeah, full throttle now, but then drive the car out over it. All right, so that's what I'm using. Again, I do think there's probably a little bit of time if you use more track, but the more you're out here, the harder you got to fight the car to get back to the left. So again, up into here, I do use on this one, on this lap anyway. Yeah, I've used over both, but you can see I'm not full right. I'm trying to make sure that I've got a braking patch on flat surface both sides and not the left side on the sausagey, rippley, triangly death thing. So decent brake application, third gear, rotate the car in nice and early. So you can see it was quite smooth over that. I feel like straddling it is better than sitting all the way on it. Get the car in. Again, I miss, technically I hit an apex. Probably just missed it a little bit here. And another spot where the car is already pissed off. Yeah, it's already sliding in the rear. Just lacking rear grip. So nice and progressive on the throttle out of here, because it will cost you so much time down the straight if you have a decent slide here. And use as much. I was a bit tame there. Yeah, don't be afraid to use plenty of exit here. Again, just make sure you clear that serrated edge so that the car doesn't have a slide. And yeah, that's a lap of COTA. We come up with a great COTA. I reckon we come up with something really good for it, but we won't. We'll be well behaved. So yeah, look, realistically, I don't know how to race this track. It's going to be really interesting to watch. Yeah, it'll be interesting to watch how it races. I reckon Wayno's going to be absolutely crushing it here. He does like this track, so yeah, it'd be interesting to see how Split 1 goes. It's been great to see some wicked results through Split 2, 3, and 4 as well. I know a few of you messaged me, that this whole thing is helping, and that's really, really cool to see. You can see John's created a channel now where we can drop these in. And yeah, so really, really cool to hear that these are helping. Hopefully I can just keep doing them every week. But I don't think I'm racing for the rest of this season, but hopefully back into it next season. We'll play that by ear. But yeah, look, it's a flow track. Don't hustle it. One note for those that would have picked it up on the onboard. Where is it? Oh, them steering wheel's in the way. Good timing. 65.5 on the bias. I can't get lap speed out of the car on the 63.7. I haven't tried going backwards from that. I've just dialed a bucket load forward, and I feel like it's helped the car a little bit. But that's everyone's driving style is different, so that's just what I ran on that lap. But look, thank you everyone. I hope you have a great week. Good luck this week, and if you got any questions, please feel free to send me a message.